Welcome back to the channel. It has been a long time since I've said that. This year has been crazy busy, but right now, relaxing for one of the small moments this year in Eastern Peloponnese in Greece. Just scouting out my shore diving options for this afternoon. I've just come down this hill, looking for a way to get out to these pinnacles out here that I've seen on the chart. Going to do a little bit of drone scouting, which I like to do before I go in for a shore dive, to see if there's any current lines, any pinnacles, or anything else I should be aware of. But definitely haven't been making many videos this year. That's for good reason. It has been insanely busy. This year I've been really focusing my efforts on competition spearfishing. It's not for everyone, but I really wanted to win the British Championship. And this year I managed to do so. So I haven't been making any videos while I've been doing that. I've just been purely focused on the championship. And also this year I'm shooting a TV series with Mike Robinson and Joe Pike called Fish in the Wild. So not that I haven't been doing much spearfishing. I've been doing probably more spearfishing than I ever have in many other years. But it's just that I can't juggle too many things at once. I can't film a TV show and make YouTube videos. And to be honest, kind of fallen out of love a little bit with YouTube as a platform. Now I've been making YouTube videos for about 8 years pretty consistently. And over the last year or so, they just haven't been making me very happy. I haven't been having a good time making the videos. So I've just taken a step back this year to focus on other things that are more fulfilling for me at this stage of my life. But I'm going to try and give it a go today because a place like this is too beautiful not to have a nice memory of a dive. Now, it's Greece, so I'm aware that I don't have a great track record in Greece. So in lieu of me shooting some fish this afternoon, I'll show some clips from earlier in the week, last week actually, with Joe Pike filming for Fish in the Wild. I shot a nice corvina and a dentex. Not a big dentex, but still a nice pan-sized fish for two people. So I'll roll those clips on now, and then we'll get to the drone scouting to see if this pinnacle is actually around the corner that I can see on the charts.
As usual in Greece, super clean water that was around 28 degrees, which makes for very comfortable diving. I found this corvina sitting outside its hole and managed to get a quick shot in before it disappeared. These are probably my favourite fish to eat from the Mediterranean. This next dive was on a reef looking for mottled grouper at around 25 metres. I saw these dentex on the way down and focused on the first fish that arrived. As dentex usually do, it headed straight for the bottom, and because it was on the shooting line, it got pretty tangled on the Posidonia, so a second dive to pull it out was needed.
Yes, I am aware of how bougie it sounds to go looking for spots with a drone, but I had it here for the production last week, so that's why I'm using it. I actually got a new drone because after 7 years I finally lost control of my other one. It went haywire and crashed into the water somewhere around South Devon. So, new drone's good.
This is exactly what I was looking for. A few pinnacles right off the headland that I saw on the charts. The water drops off to over 100 metres all around, so I was hoping it would hold some amberjack.
What I've gathered from this is here, all seagrass, Posidonia, not really what I want to be fishing. There's a few rocks here, maybe some up on this bit here, but the two pinnacles out there that are sitting in the current, I can see a current line on there in the drone, looks really interesting. I think the swim from here today is about 800 yards, but if I go to the other side where the port is, hop over the wall at the port and swim that way, it's probably only about 300. So to be honest, I'll probably opt for the shorter swim because swim shorter, not longer. I mean, yeah, makes more sense. Less tired, better dives, all that good stuff. So now in the meantime, I'm just going to wait for this sun to get a fair bit lower and go to the beach. Then get out and amongst it here. Look at that, perfect timing up there with the sun. Probably can't see us because of the backlight, but very excited. After a week-long ear infection, starting to feel better today.
Loading up the orca roller, we swam to the headland, and as soon as I arrived, I spotted a lovely dusky grouper around 5 to 6 kilograms darting for its lair.
Big dusky just went in this hole off the sand, and there's fish off the sand, there's big mullet, there's heaps of stuff.
Han held onto the roller while I got the 82 pathos off the float. I'm finding myself juggling between spear guns a bit in the med, as sometimes I want to hole hunt and other times the longer gun is great for out in the open. You can't have it all. I had a good look around the area in the holes, but in Greece it's forbidden to use a torch while spearfishing, which makes it very difficult to find fish in holes at times. Han was telling me I needed to get some lionfish for dinner and spotted this pair from the surface. Still with the 82, I figured I'd get these rolled over quickly. How does one miss a stationary fish? I looked back at this footage frame by frame and it spooked right before I pulled the trigger. Given that it was only shallow, I reload. It's at this point, seeing the big venomous spines on the lionfish, I realised I didn't bring any scissors to cut them off. Using a technique I learned from Klaus, you can use the butt of the spear gun to wedge the fish against the flopper and then hold it still. This way I can get a knife to the head and make it safer to handle. Onto the stringer and down to get another. While dealing with this lionfish on the surface, I spotted a dusky grouper looking at me from its hole. I knew it would be a long shot to try and find it, but you always have to try. Once again, no grouper, but only this moray eel looking at me. The sun was dipping behind the mountain, so I decided to have a few quick drops in around 25 meters to see if there were any dentex kicking about. It was feeling quite alive and fishy, with bait, blue runners and bream getting about. This was my only opportunity, but I kind of wanted one of those bigger dentex I could see in the distance. Again, hesitation gets you nowhere in the Mediterranean.
Last 3 dives there, saw some dead techs, probably could shot a smaller one about 700-800 grams, but was holding out for one of the larger ones at the back, maybe 1.5 kilos, but not today. I don't want to play the game. So here we go with a beautiful sunset, 2 lionfish, perfect feed for us.
On the swim back, I saw some mullet dart under a rock. You can see the silhouette there, but I figured we had enough fish for a feed at this stage.
Lots of nice fish seen, but we've got a couple beautiful eating lionfish and helping out the environment, taking these bad boys out to the ecosystem.
You can see why these things are rapidly multiplying. They breed all year round and are almost always full of eggs when I shoot them.
The thing I love about spearfishing in Greece is you don't have to be particularly skilled to come home with a feed of fish. These lionfish are now everywhere throughout Greece, and taking them means it's good for the environment because they're an invasive species. They're also delicious, and the best way we found to eat them is raw. So I'm going to take the fillets off these, and we're going to do it a carpaccio ceviche style with some citrus fruits, some pomegranate, some local spices, chili, oregano, olive oil, salt. It's going to be amazing. Once again, thwarted by accommodation with a knife, but this one actually seems not the worst knife in the world. I'm no expert and I have no idea how long the poison stays in these fish, but I would recommend not putting your tongue on the spines at this stage, even if it's a day after you've captured the fish. Have a go at the fillet on that. That is probably one of the nicest fillets you will ever find anywhere on a fish. Taking the fillets off the side, now I'm just going to cut them up into small little pieces, layer them over the plate, and then we're going to season that all up with all our goodies. The meat that comes off these lionfish is absolutely pristine. It's pearly, it's white, it's got this rainbow luminescence through it. Absolutely delicious. There's not many places in the world where you're going to find a fish that easy to spear that tastes this good raw. Beautiful. First thing we're going to do is try one with pomegranate juice, because if it grows together, it goes together. Look at that beautiful, rich nectar. That is going to look fantastic all over that. And hey, why not? It kind of looks a little bit gruesome, but it'll be tasty. Let's give it some chili. And of course, this part of Greece most famous for olive oil and olives, so thrash a bit of that on there as well. And as Maria says, olive oil is basically free in this part of Greece, so don't be shy. And of course, a bit of sea salt over the top. Now, I'm not really sure if the pomegranate is going to be citrusy enough, but I can kind of see that it's turning the flesh white already, so I think there's enough acid in it to cure that, so we'll leave that one. With the other one, we're going to do something a little bit more traditional, so going to start with some lime juice just to get that all over and start the cooking with the citrus juice. I like a lot because it tastes good, and that's what I'm going to do. Now, to make this pretty, would love to put some zest on there. Don't have a grater microplane for some reason, it's not in the hotel, so I'm going to use a serrated knife. There we go, getting some zest. A little bit of zest over the top. That's our makeshift microplane. So some beautiful extra virgin olive oil from Maria and Klaus. Oregano over the top. We'll pop those in the fridge for about 20 minutes or half an hour and come back here with a glass of rosé. Both of these recipes actually came from our friend Panagiotis, who runs Katroni Villas on the other side of the Peloponnese. This one is his original one. Now this one I've adapted because he gave us some of his pomegranates on the way out, so we thought, let's use them on this. Looks great. Delightful. Sweet is not usually a flavour that you get with raw crudo fish, it's normally citrus, but in this instance it goes really well together. Now this is probably the OG, this is the favourite, this is the one with the citrus, looks fantastic, and I'm quite impressed with my makeshift zester microplane with a serrated knife, but this absolutely all-time. If you're ever in Greece, go spearfishing, take out a few lionfish, it's good for the environment and it's good for your taste buds. Thank you so much for watching. I know that it's been a while since I've put out a YouTube video, but I'm going to get back into the groove, I promise. Next stop, Sardinia. See you there.